So our next presentation is from Hassan Elsayed. So please join us, Hassan. Hassan is a PhD student in the Faculty of Science and Engineering, and he's been working on a project that we've had a few nibbles at before in a different way. So this is working on a shipwreck that was dating back from about 300 BC, was discovered off the coast of Cyprus, I think, in the late 1960s. I'm probably stealing half of Hassan's presentation here, aren't I? In fact, we had a project last year that looked at one aspect of this, and now this project is looking at a different aspect. So it's good to see some continuity between projects, and it allows sort of a deeper analysis and a further study. So at this point, I think I'll pass to Hassan, who can tell you more about the project.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome you here, and it's a pleasure to be here today.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. I got it.
It's going to do its own work.
So it's a pleasure to be here presenting at HIVE. Today I'm going to talk about my project here is creating a 3D model of the Kyrenia shipwreck cargo. First of all, let me introduce our shipwreck. This ship Kyrenia was one of the most interesting ships at the 3rd century BC. It was discovered at the north coast of Cyprus at 1967. Then they started to extract and excavate the whole location for 2 years, between 1967 till 1969. During this excavation, they used around 300 films, and of course they were just black and white films at this time, 50 years ago, and about more than 10,000 pictures were taken. About the cargo itself, mainly it consists of two things. The first is the amphoras, which is the most interesting item. Mainly it was one sample of amphora, but this was the dominant one, but there was also other kinds or shapes of amphoras. Also we got the millstones at the bed of the ship. The objective of this project simply is transforming the 2D images, okay, into a 3D model here, as you can see. So the 3D model can be used for further steps. Then repeating this step for the following levels and build the temporal 3D models for the whole cargo. So simply when they discovered the ship, divers started to remove and extract all the amphoras at the surface. Then they got another surface underneath and they started to extract it, and so on until they reach it to the bed of the sea, the bed of the ship. So building all the 3D models for the whole cargo was the second step. And the third one was building a 3D CAD model for the cargo, for each level, and consequently for the whole cargo. So the purpose of the whole thing is studying how all of these amphoras were stacked together under the sea before extraction. And this will give us, or give archaeologists particularly, more obvious and more clear side view for the whole cargo, so that they can know or get more evidence how this ship was sunk at this time, and consequently they can conclude some historical events or rectify some historical information. So how is this done? How this was done? First, I used a bunch of software packages, mainly Metashape, then Rhino. Oh, not this one. Not this one either. Need help. Yes, this Rhino. Also, we got this normal stuff like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Microsoft Teams for communication. So mainly, Metashape, do you remember this slide, was used to transform the 2D images into the 3D models. After that, used Metashape again to build the temporal levels of the cargo, but this time we needed to link these levels together, so I had to use the professional version of Metashape this time. This professional version offered us like what's called a feature called reference points. These reference points could be just defined on the same features, which is located at different levels. So these reference points can be used to link the different levels together. And the third step, to transform the 3D model into the 3D CAD model, I used the Rhino for this job. Okay, so the obstacles during this project, mainly discovering the whole thing, because too much data, as I mentioned, too much images, too much software to be used, and so on. So discovering the whole thing was a little bit hard, but with intensive meetings with the supervision team, it was super fast. Then when I started to build the 3D models from the images, I started to get very distorted models. And by investigating this data, I got two main reasons for this distortion. The first one is having a repeated images, not identical ones, but just the same perspective, the same images with maybe like a light zoom in or zoom out, like the two images above at the center, or have an unclear image, like the bottom one at the center. So these two reasons caused a lot of distortion for the model. So removing all of them was a good idea. And as you can see at the third image here, a lot of obstructions, okay, tubes, pipes, suction tube, ropes, and so on. All of these features caused a lot of confusion for the software during the 3D model building. So what happened to remove these obstacles? First thing was filtering the whole data, so investigating all the pictures and the images, remove the repeated images and remove the unclear images. Second, make what's called masking. This masking is just removing the unwanted features, because these features not only causing like or working as an abstraction in the image, but they were also movable between image to another, one for the same view. So it caused a lot of confusion for the software to build the 3D model. And also by thoroughly investigating this data, I started to repeat the classification and the gatherings of the images and make many chunks. Like, so we got level 0, level 1, and level 2, but after investigating these images again, I found that we have to separate level 2 into level 2 and 3. Level 1, it also got many sub-levels like 1A, B, and C and D, but eventually I had to combine them into only 1A and 1C. So these chunks really helped. And the final step was what's called histogram equalization. This was like a Python code. This code, as you can see here, this is the original image. And by using this Python code, the quality and the contrast of this image improved a lot, and the same for the lower one. So this histogram equalization was done for the whole package, for all images, and it improves the quality of the 3D model much more. The results, simply, we got our 3D model for the whole cargo. This is for level 0, and this is the 3D model for level 1A, and this is the CAD model for it. This is 1C, and this is the CAD model for it. This is level 2, and this is the CAD model for it. And the final one is level 3, and this is the CAD model for it. So eventually I got the the 3D CAD model for the whole cargo, as you can see right now. So the job has been done. Okay. A few things that I have to consider, or especially for the future work. First of all, the resizing the amphora. When matching the 3D CAD model for the amphora to the amphora in the 3D model, which is done by Metashape, I had to resize manually this amphora, so there is an expected error during this process. Also, matching this amphora to its location in the 3D model, I got 6 degrees of freedom. So rotation, moving back and forth. So all of this, there is an expected error in this process also. And the final thing is an expected error during the linking between different levels and different layers. So yes, it's practical and it's workable to build 3D models for some data which is collected 50 years ago, black and white, very rough. Okay. The precision of the output is need to be discussed and need to be considered for the future work, so that the following interesting people can just know how much precision you can get from such a method. And this could be done through measuring the differences between the same features or the same amphoras which is located in different levels in the 3D CAD model. So by measuring this difference or this error, we can get some insights into how much precision we can receive. I really need to give big thanks for everyone here at HIVE, the supervision staff, David, which is I hope to be here. Jeremy, of course, from WA Shipwreck Museum, of course, Andrew, also Daniel, give a lot of help, Carly and Wilsey. They were really supportive and they just transformed a big problem like to this small. That's it, and any questions?